Hi everyone, let's go over my bullish and bearish Elliott wave scenarios on Bitcoin, starting with the bullish scenario where we're looking for a finished 3-wave structure to the downside in a zigzag, a 5-wave A, 3-wave zigzag in a wave B, retracing to the 0.5 taken from the high to the low of A, which is a common target, and then a 5-wave C to the downside ending at the low. In this scenario, you would really like to hit this 0.618, which is an invalidation for an impulse to the downside in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as wave 4 is not allowed to hit the 618. So in other words, hitting 61.6k increases the probabilities for the bullish scenarios. Now more locally, on a 15-minute time frame, the bullish scenario is reflected in this multi-1-2 to the upside. So we have a wave 1, flat in 2, 1 zigzag in 2, and then another 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Currently working on that white 4 over here. So looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we finish the white wave of 5, we are then looking for a blue wave 4. So we then have a finished blue 3, looking for a blue 4, and then eventually another blue 5. And when that one is finished, we then finish a green 3, look for a green 4, and then a green 5. So in other words, we are getting into a scenario where, preferably in the bullish scenario, we are going to be seeing a couple of 4-5s to the upside. Now the common target for this wave 4 is between the 0.236 and the 0.5, which is taken from the low of 2 to the high of the white 3, giving you a target area between 58.9k and 58.3k. The invalidation for this wave 4 is price hitting the 618 over here at 58k. If price is going to continue its way towards the upside, potentially finishing that white wave 5 here at some resistance, the value area low and the point of control of this range here, 59.7 and 60.1k, then we're going to be looking for price to end the blue wave 3 and therefore start the blue wave 4, which then means that we are going to pull the exact same fibs over here, but then from the low of the blue 2 to wherever the high is going to be, and then the 618, whatever level it's going to be, right, is going to be the invalidation for the blue wave 4. And same if we then move up and we finish the blue wave 5 and therefore the green wave 3, we are then going to pull the same Fibonacci you see here from the low of the green 2 to the high of the green wave 3 to look at the targets for a wave 4, and the 618 is then going to be an invalidation for the green wave 4. So it's quite important to have these on the chart and keep an eye on how price is moving towards the upside. The bearish scenario on the 1-hour chart is that we are looking for an impulse to the downside in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5, taking the lows at least one more time. Common target area for your wave 4, the 0.236 to the 0.5, taken from the high of 2 to the low of 3, giving you a target area between 58.4k and 60.6k, with once again the 0.618 as an invalidation at 61.6k. Now if price hits this invalidation here, it increases probabilities for the 4-hour bullish scenarios. One of them is this one here, a sideways double combo, a WXY, with in wave X a expanding flat, A, B, C, where the common target for your wave B in an expanding flat is the 1.236 to the 1.38 Fibonacci, taken from the low to the high of this wave A, giving you a target area between 57.7k and 56.6k. And for this wave C, we want to see the high of A broken at about 67k with an impulsive structure to the upside to finish wave X. And then we look for a wave Y to the downside, either in a zigzag, a flat, or a triangle. There is the small chance that wave X is already finished over here and wave Y is also finished, and then a wave W, X, and then a Y zigzag to the downside. But wave X here is incredibly short in time compared to wave W, not even getting close to the vertical line on the chart, the 0.382 fib time taken from the high to the low of W, comparing W with X and time. And it is way more common for waves to end at least after the 0.382 when they they are relation to one another. So wave W with wave X in this case. So that is why the probabilities are higher for wave X to end after the 0.382. And also if this is your wave Y is incredibly short compared to W as well, finishing before the 0.382, which is not preferred. So therefore this scenario is interesting. And then secondly, we have a potential diagonal in a wave A, B, and then a 5 wave C to the downside, where we then work on a zigzag to the upside in a wave 4, one more drop to the downside in a wave 5, before then continuation to the upside. So hitting that 618 at 61.6k before taking the lows is quite important with regards to the probabilities on the higher time frames. On the 50-minute time frame, we had some bullish CVD divergences earlier today from the lows over here. Bullish CVD, bullish CVD, bullish CVD, and once again, bullish CVD divergences. Now that price took these highs here, all of the bullish CVD divergences have played out, and we have to wait for price to range before we can reassess these divergences once again locally. When we talk about some more support and resistance, then another resistance box to the upside here is 61.7k to 62.4k. Then we have this small area here, 63.8k to 64k. Then 65.2 to 65.8, and eventually over here 68.2 to 69.2k. To the downside, we have this support resistance area, the 4-hour order block. Spoke about this one already a lot of times, 56.6k to 57.6k. And below this area, we have a little bit of support at 54.4k, a point of control. And below that, we're pretty much at the blue box here, 51.6 to 51.9k. Right above price, just to repeat, the value area low, 59.7 and 60.1k. So if you then look at the probabilities of the different scenarios, then on the 4-hour time frame, the probabilities remain higher for the bullish scenarios compared to the bearish scenarios, unless the bullish scenarios become invalidated, which is not yet the case. And on the 1-hour/15-minute time frame, we are simply looking for upside unless we are going to hit the 0.618 that I spoke about, right? If we're looking for a 1, 2, 1, 2 and multiple 1, 2s, we just drag the fib to the upside, keeping an eye on that 618 until all of the impulsive structures are finished, with eventually the green wave 5. So that is something to keep an eye on. So pretty much looking for price to move up as long as we don't hit that 618. That being said, I hope that this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the most recent educational video I've made about the best trading indicator you can use in my opinion, which is the CVD. And for now, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'd like to see you at the next one. Bye bye.